Hello, I was going to say good morning. It is not morning. It is definitely not morning. Um, so good afternoon. I can't get past these flowers here, this bunch, because there's something that just makes me feel like it's lovely, and I'm glad of that this morning. I was going to share with you. It's well, it's not been my worst morning. Definitely not been my worst morning. It's not been my best morning either, and a little bit edgy owning that. I mean, given that actually I'm doing well, I'm sitting on a hot water bottle out in the studio, having just had toast and eggs and tea and preparing to head to the cafe to do my newsletter later, which I'm not feeling a huge sinking in my belly about. So, generally not bad. But there was a bit of a climb, there was a bit of a drop and a bit of a climb out. And I just I noticed it all as it was happening, and I thought, oh, for feck's sake, no. I had different plans for today. But the best laid plans. Like yesterday was such a good day, and I think I was wanting to copy it. Anyway, this isn't, no, you're thinking maybe that I'm copying it because I'm painting these same flowers. I think when you harness onto something that inspires you, go with it as best you can without questioning it too much. And I have made this different because I've put in an extra yellow flower, and I've taken out the massive one that was kind of drooping. No, I've actually brought my acrylics out with me here because I felt a little bit like injecting. To be honest, I thought I was going to do that, but I can do that another time. So I bought my splurge of yellow and things. But let me see now with this is permanent rose. I wonder if that would, oh yeah, that's going to look like those flowers there, isn't it? I could have trusted it and not even tried it out on the corner there, but it'll wipe off easy enough. So this paper, I was going to use watercolour paper and paint in watercolour. I might still paint a bit in watercolour, but this is kind of clinching the deal now that I see that it's the right colour. For those flowers, I'm kind of keen to use the acrylic. And off we go. Isn't that lovely? Timorous Beasties wallpaper. And this is some wrapping paper that I found. And again, every little thing helps. Whatever it is that makes that little flurry of aliveness in my system, that is a good thing. So what have I got here now is my finger and this purple paint. Kind of nice letting my fingers tickle the flowers into shape. It feels like now am I putting them in the right place? Like there's going to be purple there, there'll be another flower here and more purple ones extending up. And in that case I probably could have made it a bit lower. I'm really liking that for the shape of that flower. But I suppose I can give it up. I can abandon that ship. It's possible, isn't it? We can do, as Glennon Doyle says, we can do hard things. And if it feels hard shifting that, no, my life is good. If that's the hardest thing I'm up against at the moment. But that kind of thinking doesn't help really, does it? To kind of diminish my pain through pretending that or through considering that others have it hard or all that kind of carry on. Anyway, there's not an awful lot of pain left now. I just didn't want to kind of sweep in here as though I've had a breeze of a morning. It's good. I needed to consciously treat myself as a good friend would. That was it. Because I had great expectations of this day somehow, which I hadn't realised I had. Funny the way they can creep up on you. I have no idea if you can hear me now. I know I'm kind of being quiet, but I'm trusting that because the mic is on this side that you'll have a better volume than usual. Yeah, to the heartbroken person who sent me that microphone, I've tried it again today and it's still not working. So I think what I'm going to do is to try and find the instructions online. I've lost them. I've put the other microphone charging now anyway. The second of the two that came in that box. And we'll see. It's a challenge. It's good for me to challenge my organisational things, to kind of develop that muscle. So I'm going to have a look at the instructions. And get back to you on that one. It'd be kind of ironic if you couldn't hear me, wouldn't it? Right, so that's one flower. And I'm telling myself it would have been better if I left it there, that I would have explained it better. That's nonsense. That's just another trick of the mind trying to stall any sort of creative output. So it's good to tune into the voices to listen to, and the voices to let slip on by. And that one there was one to let slip on by, because I'm enjoying this pink far too much to bring doubt on myself now. And who said that? Sorry, I'm trying to find my brushes. Who said that I have to produce a masterpiece? Who was it that decided that? My purpose here now is to do what I'm saying. My purpose here is to paint really what I'm feeling about them, I suppose. Best I can. Just going to lift out little bits and pieces now with the brush. And you can find that dark centre. Maisie launched herself onto the swinging seat over there. She's chilled out. We had a long walk in the woods this morning. More good medicine. Met somebody. More good medicine. Had a chat. Brilliant. All of that stuff helps, doesn't it? Actually, what we had a chat about was, she's an instructor, a fitness instructor kind of, a health coach, I suppose. And because she herself experienced the menopause as she was doing her training, that seems to be her area of focus now. So we had a very helpful conversation. I find that when I extend out and do things like going for the walk with Maisie now, I mean, that had to be done, but it tends to have good results in some way. It was nice having the chat with her. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking happened, but it was just a little nod to the fact that we're not all necessarily able to pull ourselves into, there's reasons for moods and things like that aren't always, it's not always possible to shift it yourself, or, well, it is, I suppose, but I don't know, but not to be different, it's okay to experience what you're experiencing or something like that. Oh my goodness. Still figuring it all out. But this here now is good. Less figuring out, more fun. The paper, kitchen paper here. And you nearly lost me there. Nearly fell off the chair. It's a broken plastic one from the garden. What about a bit of neon? Sorry, fluorescent. Is it? Fluorescent rose. Rose fluorescent. Yeah, that's what the doctor ordered. A bit of emergency fluorescent ink. Soothes the heart, soften the senses, brighten the outlook. Maybe not soften the senses, soothe the nerves, I suppose. Remember that? I remember years ago my mum saying, oh, so and so is suffering from their nerves. Be an awful lot of things I'd say could be explained by a little bit of light, a little bit of understanding. My mum is incredibly understanding, don't get me wrong there now. I just mean that with time passing, I think there's more acceptance of more light shed on things like the menopause and different things. That it's no harm. My God, it's about time. And other things too, like just chatting with the girls about boundaries and things, and just their awareness of what's okay and what's not okay. Even if sometimes it isn't possible for them, or even if sometimes it's not stuck to, or it's kind of challenged, there's an awareness of what's okay and what's not okay, and with regard to personal space and I don't know, just everything really. Anyway, that seems to me to be a positive, the fact that we're talking about it. We're talking about these things where, especially I suppose for women in the past, you had to get on with it. There was so much to do. When I ask the older generation about the menopause, they say, what do you mean? We were so busy. So busy. Didn't have time to even, in the days of twin tubs, and I suppose a twin tub was a luxury really. Do you know that now, by the time I'm finished this conversation, I might still be on the flowers, so I better focus a small bit here. What's this colour? Grey. No, it's not really grey that I'm needing here. I think it's full on black. Or I could make my old, I can't be bothered making it. If I've got Payne's grey, that'll work fine. And lo and behold, Payne's grey. You might be wondering, what am I going to use it for? And don't worry, you will have your answer very shortly. What a cliffhanger, eh? For the centre of this flower here. And there's a different thing happening in the circle around the centre too that I want to also give a bit of attention to. It's actually quite nice taking my time here. It's kind of a different pace. There's certainly a sense of urgency around. When I noticed my mood dropping, I was like, no, this can't happen. And what's the worst thing about that? Of course, it happens even faster. As soon as you latch onto it not dropping, it becomes more significantly difficult. As soon as you become attached, I suppose, oh, stop it. I'm going to start talking about attachment. That's annoying, isn't it? Maybe you won't be able to hear any of this. I do have an intention set now to get a working microphone in order. That microphone that I was sent was such a kind gift, and that's the one I'm going to work. I'm going to get it to work, because it did work at the workshop. I think it's to do with the charging thing that I'm doing. And then the other thing that happened yesterday, there are some things that happened to me, that remind me of things that I could work on a little bit, things that are growth areas, shall we say, for me. And so yesterday what happened was that, this could happen to anyone, to be honest. I spilled a bottle of water in my shopping bag without realising it. And I went all around the supermarket with the bag and the phone in the bottom of the bag sloshing around in this water. It wasn't until I got to the till to try and use the bag that I saw there was, kind of a half-inch of water in it. So I poured it out with the assistance of supermarket of an Asda guy. And when I got home then and tried to charge my phone, it looked as though it was working fine. And I tried to charge it, this emergency thing came up, unplug the charger immediately. And because there was wet water detected in the fucking charger slot or whatever it is. You know, the way that kind of thing happens. So Erin was saying to put it into rice. So it's sitting on a bag of rice in there. And I've also, in order to dry it out, and I also, tried to dry it out and stood it upright overnight on a kitchen towel thing. So we'll see. Watch this space. It might be, well, I'm not even going to suggest that I'm going to get another phone because that's not going to happen. It looks as though it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Gosh, I'm doing a botanical illustration here, aren't I? Where am I going with all the details? Bit of orange now, I think. I think there's a kind of an orange. Let's see about that. Well, we can try the cadmium red, that might do. I have no palette, I'm only using the thing straight from the tube. I think cadmium red is a good colour for this inside bit. There's little kind of tiny little bud-like things in there surrounding the dark centre that to me look a little bit cadmium red. I guess I'm wanting to do something, I hadn't realised it, but to do something a little bit methodical and step by step. Get myself there gradually. I don't feel like I'm rigidly attached to it being terribly precise, this painting. But what I am keen to do is to lose myself in their beauty and be attentive to something other than carry on in my head. That is probably the primary purpose of art making for me. I don't know if through saying it I've invented that for myself or what. I did love it, and I do love it as well, obviously. But there's something more that happens that I wasn't aware of, and that is peace of mind that can come with it. So it's a handy tool to have in the box. Bit of creative action, whatever it is. And I would say no creative act is too small. Simply laying the table nicely is a creative act. And it gets me first considering. And it isn't even an intention, but I eventually started looking at things in relationship to other things and thinking, oh, that's nice. Oh, that looks nice. I'd like to maybe explain that in paint. And that's how these drawings come about. It can't be because of the drawing or painting that I set up the table though. Setting the table needs to be an act of love for myself, first and foremost. I do believe that. We're funny creatures, aren't we? Every day different. And I'm glad every day is different. Like, I was desperate for today to be as good as yesterday, but only a bit better. And I thought if I do the same things, or, I don't know what I was thinking. There was definitely a good ladle of expectation in there anyway, in my thinking. I suppose, now what do you think? I suppose I should move on and put no splodgy yellow on there. See if I could begin explaining that yellow. I think it's a gerbera beside these two. Now this yellow, of course, is not the colour really. I think this one is Aran and Hyde yellow. And what I want really is, I think, cadmium yellow. Let me see what this is like. This is cadmium yellow. A little bit closer. But it still needs something to dull it down in here. And I like to do the darks thinner. If you know me, you know that. So I'll just thin out that part of it. And I kind of want to let alone the bright bit for now, do I? Well, maybe you can just pull it around to describe generally where the petals are located. Here's Maisie. And maybe I don't have to explain all the shadows anyway. After all, I am not doing a botanical illustration, and I'm explaining the feeling of them. And this yellow feels bright to me. There's a couple of bits down there too. So maybe what I'll do is let it be. I might put a touch, I suppose, of something a little bit dark in the centre. I wonder what would that be like? Burnt umber. What do you think, Maisie? You put a touch of burnt umber in there. It's very wet, burnt umber now. I don't know if that's going to help me. Maisie's finding her spot to settle. Very wet fingers. The first thing that happened to me this morning was I got up and I decided I was going to do yoga. Because that was my what will I do differently today from yesterday. Yesterday was really good. I didn't do yoga though. And I thought, well, that's me. How can I, what will I do differently today? I'll do my yoga in the morning. But then I got up with I just started doing different things and I didn't get straight into the yoga. I was actually a bit cold and to be honest I didn't feel like doing yoga. But I was disregarding how I felt in order to do my plan for the day. It's a tricky one to notice that because sometimes you just stop yourself doing your plan for the day. Because some part of you knows, I don't know, sometimes it's good to forge through and sometimes it's not good to forge through. Like I said to someone the other day, it's more like a violence against yourself to forge through sometimes. And I think in hindsight that maybe that's what happened this morning. Anyway, I ended up pushing through and didn't I hurt my shoulder as I was doing my yoga. So I stopped and then I did yoga for back, neck and shoulder relief. I was really belligerent about doing my yoga. Anyway, I did it. And then I think the thing that soothed my shoulder a bit was, I think the thing that soothed my shoulder a bit then was going for the walk and recognising that I had a sore shoulder properly. I'm going to use this as a palette. I like the covers on those Atelier. They close nicely. They don't so much close nicely on these ones. Not too bad actually. I wanted to use the palette because I want to make a colour using the Payne's grey that's going to work for the vase now. I want to get myself some more Payne's grey, it's almost run out. Okay, let me put out some more of that yellow, cadmium yellow. I'm using yellow open because I think I could do with making a few more of the shadowy petals as it meets the bright of that other pink one. That pink one should be closer to the yellow. Slightly annoyed about that. Let's see now. I could still bring it over a bit. That'll be Adam next door. He's got a great range of sounds. I love his expressive way. He just comes out and makes a noise, and sometimes it's exactly the noise that needs to be made. The sun is shining here now these days, and it's fantastic. So you can see I am moving the flower over closer because I think the distance between them just want to do it. I just want to do it as truly as I want to make it as true as it is in real life for some reason. I don't think it's a dogged thing. I think it's just a desire to paint what's here best I can. Give the character and the position and the feeling of them. And that allows me to get the position then of this one a bit more truly, and this, and I'll, where they touch each other. I don't think I have to doctor it all completely. I haven't even been half closing my eyes, which I would say religiously I do. I don't think I did yesterday either, actually, when I was painting these flowers yesterday, or something like them. I didn't close my eyes then either. Half close my eyes, I mean. Okay. There now is a little bit of Payne's grey. I think it may be the pot beyond or something, but it's as dark anyway as the pot beyond is. So it's there. It runs up there a bit. And then there's the bit that goes around that petal. And it comes in here to meet almost the center of the yellow one. And again, that's like the pot or the vase, or the inside of the vase, or something that's quite dark there. And then there's a steeper slope, and then it's straight down altogether here. For that petal. And then it does something like this. It comes up. And this goes like that. And then we get to the edge of the vase. Sometimes you'll know that I would put a bit of masking tape there, but at the moment my mark making isn't quite so vigorous as normal, so I'm not afraid to go over the edge, or I don't worry so much about having such a crisp edge there. But I do feel like I need some blue. Ultramarine blue would be good. Or greeny blue of some sort. Sorry, hitting you there. Maybe this phthalo blue. It might be good now if I were to stop the video. That is phthalo blue. And maybe start a second one, because I feel like I've gone on quite a while. So I'm going to do that. Let's see you at stage 2.